Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in to my super chat. You give me every incentive to rock these live streams. If you want to support my voice long term as well, my Patreon link is below in the description and the pinned comment of all my uploads. It'll be on the pinned comment of this segment as well. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just ask you a question before we get started. Okay, I want you to just think about this. Think of the answer to this. Okay, why would, now hear me out, and I'm going to use my annoying personality to emphasize the question, which is a rhetorical one. Why would the wonderful and brilliant and talented and immensely honest Madam Secretary, why would she demand today on Good Morning America? Now let's follow this logic. Why would she demand that Bernie Sanders follow the rules? Didn't Debbie Wasserman Schultz resign in disgrace for breaking the rules of the Democratic primary in 2016, which were, of course, that they were supposed to be fair and neutral? Are there rules for some people and rules for others? What about the State Department rules and guidelines? What happened there? What's going on with rules and guidelines within the Democratic Party? So You look at the rules and guidelines, they work only for one side. Hillary Clinton today on Good Morning America called Bernie Sanders' movement a bunch of baloney. Now, that was her unvarnished, candid opinion. Now, Ghostman! Thank you. Why is this taking place? Why suddenly did Amy Klobuchar and Mayor Pete drop out before Super Tuesday? Do you mean to tell me that Amy Klobuchar didn't want to win her home state? You mean to tell me she didn't want to win Minnesota? Amy Klobuchar did not want to win Minnesota. No winning Minnesota. Does that make any sense at all? Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that Biden and Amy Klobuchar met with Madam Secretary? Oh, can I get you something to drink? How about you, Biden? How about a little Courvoisier? Pass the Courvoisier. Do you want to? Everybody sing it now. Can I get you? Oh, my wife will be down in a second. Amy, you're looking absolutely stunning tonight. I just want to say that I feel your pain. Biden, Amy Klobuchar. Let's see. Oh, look at this. What's this? All right. So I don't know what's. So Joe Biden. If I'm reading this right, Joe Biden has 116 delegates now. I don't know if I'm reading this right, but it says 116 to 79 Bernie Sanders. So, and then 26 from Mayor Pete. Well, so they're doing it. Even though I'm a Trump supporter, and even though I find what Bernie Sanders has done lately to be despicable, fomenting the dossier against Trump and the intelligence community myth against Trump. And what do you mean, a Bernard dossier? Fire hydrants, what? It hurts deep inside. I don't know why it hurts deep inside, but it does. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. I feel bad for the people who've given their hopes and dreams to Bernie Sanders because he sold his soul to James Clapper and Brennan and Comey in the Democratic Party. But ladies and gentlemen, what do I see here? Okay, all of these delegates are going to go to Hillary Clinton, but okay, so 236 delegates declared thus far. Biden is doing quite well. This is Biden, who said he wants to be a one-term president, who said he's okay with a Republican vice president. He told coal miners to learn to code, and whose wonderful hunter was at the gentleman's location with perhaps certain narcotics. Let's just be as diplomatic as possible. And who, I don't know, forced out a prosecutor in an overt quid pro quo. But let's not even go there now. They're not going to go with Biden. This is all for Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton's going to be the nominee. Bernie Sanders sold his soul to the Democratic Party, and this is what he gets in return. I sold my soul, and all I got was this T-shirt. But not 2020. Elizabeth Warren is there only to prevent Bernie Sanders. And she oh my God. So this is unbelievable. But Biden and Amy Klobuchar met with Hillary Clinton. So here, this is why I did the whole Hillary Clinton met with Biden and Klobuchar in 2020. Okay, why do you think that is? Because she's going to be the nominee. Okay, I am the only person on the planet, long before Steve Bannon, saying this. I wrote this in 2017 in the Huffington Post. Clinton 2020 is a reality. Get ready for 8 years of Trump. I was still a Bernie supporter when I wrote it. Hillary Clinton met with Biden and Klobuchar in 2020, February 22nd, 2019. Dan America, CNN. I just want to thank you so very much for coming on down and. Samuel Stafford! Just waiting for Biden to implode. Oh, that'll happen. Samuel Stafford, thank you so very much. Samuel, your support is greatly appreciated. Samuel Stafford, as always. Samuel, thank you very, very much. As always, Samuel Stafford. It's happening. It's happening, and I can't believe what's taking place. So I can't believe, Samuel, what's taking place. You look here, and Biden will implode after today. But today, well, first of all, Biden is doing this all. So Biden's projected to win Virginia, which is a lot of delegates. Bernie will win Vermont, obviously. And I'm looking at the delegate count here. But if you look at, let's see. You look at, so Biden, full tracker, this is kind of interesting. Biden wins North Carolina, Biden wins Virginia, and he did, oh my God, he demolished Bernie in North Carolina. Listen, you saw Star Wars. Now this is The Empire Strikes Back. I told you the Democratic Party would converge. Would never in a million years let Bernie Sanders. Now Bernie could actually get more delegates because if he wins California, he could be 100 or so delegates up over Biden. It's completely irrelevant. I told you today, and I've told you yesterday, and I told you since 2017. They're going to find very creative ways in the rules that they designed to ensure that Bernie doesn't win. It's not rocket science. You add, just simply, ladies and gentlemen, add Biden, Warren, and Bloomberg's delegate total. All of those delegates will go to Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton today said there has to be a brokered convention. She said, follow the rules, Bernie, like we didn't. Follow the rules. North Carolina, Biden wins by a substantial amount, 50% to 19%, and Biden wins Virginia, 55% to 23%. There's a chance that Biden wins California. Biden wins California, Bernie's completely done. And then he will then eventually say, vote for Hillary Clinton. But Biden, the establishment will never, ever let Bernie Sanders win ever. They're going to cheat Bernie, and it's going to be Hillary Clinton. They have zero intention of Biden. Biden is taking one for the team. Samuel Stafford, thank you so very much. Forrest Biden 2020 hidden for time. Thank you. Mark Lewinsky's ex-boyfriend. Yes, that's true. Mark Martin, hello. Ladies and gentlemen, look, President Trump is going to defeat Hillary Clinton again. When that happens, she'll write a book, What Happened, Part 2. This time, what happened? Now, what happened? Oh, my goodness, it happened again. Who cares? Look, if you're going to make $3, $4, $5, $10 million with what happened again and again and again, wouldn't you? You mean to tell me you wouldn't run for president again? You mean to tell me you watching, 500 people almost watching it here, you mean to tell me you wouldn't run for president 4, 5, 6 times and make $20, $30 million doing it? With speaking engagements and books and a Hulu series, you mean to tell me you wouldn't do it? Everyone would. So why wouldn't Madam Secretary, who has an unbridled ambition not seen since Attila the Hun? This is a charade, a theatrical performance, a farce. I told everyone this. They designed rules to ensure that nobody wins it outright. They learned that if Clinton is running throughout the primary, that she's too much of a foil to either President Obama or Bernie Sanders or Trump. Clinton is too much of a foil to anyone running against her. She just embodies the antithesis in the worst way of anyone running right next to her. So what they're doing is, she can run a month before, 2 months before, she'll come in, and Biden, there'll be another negative story about the gentleman's place, and then, of course, there's the Ukraine oil and gas. It's never ending. Biden, who knows what he could say or do? What is that, Pantene? Oh, yeah, it sounds so good, yeah. So, that aroma, that intoxicating aroma, what is that? Pert Plus? So, ladies and gentlemen, they designed rules. And this is like the editor of the National Review. This is unbelievable. Trump called this out accurately. Trump said they're taking it from Bernie, which they are. And he called this out. And then the editor of the National Review said, oh my goodness, this is the type of thing that if you were in a bar, you would politely just walk away and look at the person, in a weird manner. The person who say something like this. Well, I don't understand. Like, even establishment Republicans, or did you not read the DNC and campaign emails? The Democratic Party does not exist. It's not a meritocracy. It's a system. It's a patronage type system. It's you have to pay your dues. There are party bosses. There's a hierarchy. And at the top of the hierarchy just happens to be a 2-term president from the 90s and his wife, who is a Secretary of State and a senator. Okay, you're talking about a power couple. You're talking about a couple that is now at the top of a political machine. History repeats itself. Tammany Hall in New York. You don't have to look far. Just read the history books. There's nothing that I'm saying, there's nothing that I've said since 2017 pertaining to the Democratic Party that isn't part of U.S. history, isn't part of Democratic Party history. Tammany Hall was a political machine. Look up Boss Tweed. It's the typical Democratic politician. Boss Tweed makes Richard Nixon look like, a saint. So, Samuel Stafford, thank you so very, very much. They're not going to go with Biden. Biden cannot withstand controversy. He's doing very well. He's doing amazingly well right now. Okay? He has 169 delegates to Bernie's 79. Bernie could end up, getting 100 more than him because of California. But see, the thing, California and Texas, See, there's no Medicare for all in California. There certainly isn't in Texas. There isn't even Medicare for all in Vermont. Then they say, well, it has to be a federal program. Why? Why can't it work in the state level? You mean the state budget? Doesn't it save money? Doesn't it inherently save money, Medicare for all? Why wouldn't it work on a state level? So, but you have Biden now with 116 total delegates. He won North Carolina in dominant fashion. He was dominant. He won Virginia. Virginia and North Carolina are establishment. One thing about California, okay, I'm a Californian. I'm from Los Angeles. I understand the Democratic Party in California is not a progressive. Even though California is the most left-leaning state, along with New York, probably Oregon, Washington, but California is perhaps the most, or if not one of the most, left-leaning states. But one thing about Los Angeles and California is that the Democratic Party is establishment, complete establishment. It's not a progressive type of situation. The Democrats are marginally better than Republicans on key issues, okay? Even climate change, we can go into that. So the Democratic Party will never let Bernie Sanders. I would not be surprised if Biden wins California, although Bernie could win the popular vote in California and get only marginally more delegates or the same amount of delegates or less delegates. Who knows? They don't have any rules. You're talking about the Houston Astros, okay? Samuel Stafford, thank you very much, Samuel. Adam on 31458. It's all the Hun. We should have a pool as to when Biden drops out. Adam on 31458. You know what? Biden will take his marching orders from Madam Secretary. Look, it's not this. What I've said from day one. I don't know how it happens, but what I do know is that Hillary Clinton will be nominee. She will lose again to Trump. She will make more money. Democrats make more money losing to Trump than winning with Bernie Sanders. They would lose tremendous amount of donor money. Tremendous. Forget about, look, if Bernie's policies were feasible, before being just and noble, they have to be feasible. If they're feasible, why haven't Democrats passed any legislation from the House of Representatives? Because they do not want Bernie's pundits, by and large, the ones that he can't even endorse, the ones who got $20 million in venture capital funding, and other pundits, Bernie Sanders himself, whether tacitly or deliberately or inadvertently, funnel votes back into the Democratic Party. The average Bernie supporter is not me. The average Bernie supporter is not H.A. Goodman. The average Bernie supporter is not somebody who will vote for Trump. The average Bernie supporter is not somebody who is Bernie or bust. Although the average Bernie supporter won't tell you because they don't want to be shunned and marginalized and silenced and ostracized. But they actually like what Trump is doing. Removed us from the Trans-Pacific Partnership, addressing the trade imbalance, $400 billion with China. Okay, maybe Bernie, who knows if he would have engaged in tariffs or not, but that was a big issue. Withdrawing Americans, signing a peace deal, record low unemployment, 5 million people lifted out of poverty. President Trump is everything Bernie Sanders wishes that he could have become, had the Democrats not cheated him. Now, Medicare for All was one issue that they rallied around because it's not a threatening issue to Democrats. Removing Americans from regions of conflict is very threatening because then you have Max Boot and Bill Kristol who then leave the Democratic Party. Max Boot, Bill Kristol, and Bernie Sanders voted for Clinton. They will all three do so again in 2020. And all your favorite pundits will say vote for Clinton in swing states. And vote for Clinton because it's better than Trump. And we'll get to Medicare for All eventually. Medicare for All is a fantasy utilized to funnel votes into the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is a machine that chops up and pulverizes anyone in its way on the left. The Democrats, I'm impervious, you're impervious, to Democratic Party or, media nonsense. The Daily Beast wrote a hit piece on me when I was the biggest Bernie supporter on the internet, according to the Huffington Post, and the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. Democrats go after first the left. Then when they're done crushing any resistance from the left, then they look at that's what I said. I said most Bernie supporters will never vote Trump. Only a small number will. That's what I said. I agree with you. But what I'm trying to say, though, is that the majority of Bernie Sanders supporters will vote Democrat. Now, if you look at what's taking place, it's very interesting. Bernie was up in Virginia. So you look at now Tennessee, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Alabama. Now Texas is going to be interesting. Now, if you look at the polls right now, it's really, really Samuel Stafford. Thank you again, as always, Samuel. It's really interesting. These polls are like, okay, so you look at polls in Virginia, they had Bernie up. They had Bernie up in Virginia. I'm trying to look at certain polls. Just the other day. Now, of course, all those polls are buried behind Biden winning. Bernie was ahead in Virginia on February 25th, 2020. See, 24% to 18%. So, okay. And he was still ahead February 28th. He was still ahead February 29th. I'm looking at the 538 average of polls. Polls, plus, polls, plus, minus, plus, average calculus here. And, yeah. Then, suddenly, this is interesting. On February 29th, I don't know if somebody can please explain to me this. On February 29th, this is why I respect Hillary Clinton more than Bernie Sanders, okay? This is why, okay? Because I want honesty and treachery. I don't want dishonesty. I want to know who my adversaries are. I don't want the knight in shining armor. I don't want your alleged friends to then say, "Oh yeah, guess we gotta investigate Trump on that whole working with Putin thing. Oh, you're gonna use it against me? Oh my God." Biden and February 28th. Biden on March 1st was at 20% in Virginia. Bernie Sanders was at 25%. March 2nd, he goes to 39%. And Bernie goes to 23%. I don't know why. That's hilarious. But then Bernie loses big time. And I'm on through 458. Do Bernie voters, those over 21, actually believe Bernie has a chance to be nominee? A lot of them do. Or are they just looking for destruction of party in Milwaukee? No. I mean, and I'm on through 458. The majority of Bernie Sanders supporters are loyal Democrats. 90% of Bernie supporters. D. Lynn, thank you. And I'm on through 458. 90% of Bernie supporters are loyal Democrats. Once Hillary cheats Bernie completely, they will be on board. All the pundits will say vote for Clinton. The pundits who let's put it this way: the pundits who don't say vote for Clinton have integrity. But you have a situation, and I'm on 458. Most of my friends are lifelong Democrats. They like Bernie. They weren't. They like Bernie. I like Bernie. Who you voting for, Bernie? What if they cheat him? Bernie. What if they cheat him? Bernie. What if they cheat him? Well, they wouldn't do that. What if they cheat him again, like in 2016? What if they do that again, like in 2016? Well, we can't have Trump. Why not? He's tearing the country apart. What about the record low unemployment? That's President Obama. What about removing Americans? Well, 5 million people lifted out of poverty. First Step Act. Well, his tweets. Okay. So if they cheat Bernie, I don't care. I like Bernie, but I don't want to see Trump anymore. I can't stand his social media. I can't stand his personality. Okay, so then what are you going to do? Spit it out. I'll vote for Biden again or whatever. I don't like Biden, but I'll vote for him. Yeah. Oh, okay. So you'd vote. So you're a Bernie supporter, but you'd vote for Biden even if he cheats Bernie Sanders. Yeah, I'm not going to let Trump win. I'm not going to be a Russian operative. Well, I mean, I'm not going to work for the Kremlin. Oh, okay. So then there you go. So I'm on 458. That's the mentality. That's the mentality. George C. Will they use Biden's step aside to bring in Hillary? George T. There's about 10 different ways. 10 different ways. 10 different things they can use, from the conflicts of interest in Ukraine to just the fact. I mean, he's not inspiring. He's not, it's the 100-year anniversary of the 19th Amendment. Joe Biden is not the face they want. They want Hillary Clinton, and they were always going to get Hillary Clinton. So, and ladies and gentlemen, look, at the end of the day, Bernie could end up with the most delegates today, but if he ends up with 100 or 200 more delegates, it won't matter, because you add Bloomberg and you add Warren and you add Buttigieg and you add Klobuchar, and it'll be far above. So Biden's at 116, Sanders is at 18. California is going to be an interesting one, a real interesting one. California will be a real interesting one. I think they're going to really cheat Bernie Sanders in California. The secret spaceship! Brazil said the DNC has a fair system. It may be fair, but most voters don't get how it works. Bernie is a master manipulator, knowing he can't win again. Orange Power 2020. Thanks, HA. The secret spaceship. One of the great names on here. The secret spaceship. I don't know. Bernie Sanders he does manipulate, but I think that what I don't know why he does what he does. Selling his soul to the Democratic Party, the secret spaceship, Samuel Stafford. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why he does the things he does. I don't know why he, in 2016, he had a chance to win. Had he simply stated, hey, If it's not fair, why should his whole thing is, well, I have to play by the rules because it's their political party, but they didn't play by the rules. So if someone else is not playing by the rules, why should you play by the rules? So Tennessee, 1% reporting. Biden is at 36%. Bloomberg, 29%. Sanders, 20%. Okay, so the southern states, Biden's going to sweep. It'll come down to California and Texas. The whole thing's nonsense anyway. The media is in cahoots with the Democratic Party anyway. The whole thing's nonsense anyway. Look, let everybody know that I respect Hillary Clinton more than Bernie Sanders. Because I want to know. I want to know. I want to know. I want to know who my adversaries are politically. I don't want somebody who's not in it to win it. Okay, now, I don't want the Houston Astros because they just do. I mean, my God, they stole that from the Yankees. And they stole that from the Dodgers. My God almighty. What one-run ball games and baseball does nothing. Baseball is like the DNC. Oh, my God. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. I find that so egregious. Don't get me started on baseball. Okay, don't get me started. Astros, Yankees. Okay, don't get me started. And you know what? Okay. This is what I find despicable. Absolutely despicable. Game 1 at Houston. It's 2-1. They're cheating the whole time. They might even have buzzers. They might even know which pitches are coming. You can't know which pitches are coming. That's not right. So New York loses one-run ball game, game 1. Okay, this is the 2017 American League Championship Series. Okay, Yankees should have gone to the World Series. Okay, so 2-1 game 1, 2-1 game 2. And then it's, fair, goes to Yankee Stadium. Yankees demolish 8-1. And then it's Yankee Stadium, no help anymore. Yankees do well 6-4. Then it's at Yankee Stadium. And they beat the Astros 5-0. Then, okay, you still have good players on the Astros, but still, 7-1 Houston at home now. They still have the advantage of they probably had the buzzers and the outfield camera working on overtime. And then Game 7 in Houston, a close game, 4-0. How many close games? 1, 2, 3 close games. And 2 of the games decided by 1 run. Okay? This is not right. This is like the Debbie Wasserman Schultz is running the Houston Astros. That's not right. You can't have that. But see, again, this you think politics is better? You think the Democratic Party is more honest than the Houston Astros? You can multiply the deception of the Astros organization, or what they did at least, times a million. You wouldn't even get to half of what the Democrats are about. And baseball did nothing, but here. Ebenezer Adams, they're eating each other, delicious. Insanity Pepper, I believe Bernie believes everything he says. He does, except he doesn't believe the Russia myth, but he perpetuated it. But you're right, he does believe everything he says in terms of policies. Samuel Stafford, thank you very much, as always, Samuel. Greatly, greatly appreciated. So this is interesting. Super two now they're gonna say, oh my goodness, they're going to say, oh, my goodness. Now Biden's the front runner again. Every day the front runners change. So 150, now they got 150 delegates to 91s for Sanders to 26 for Buttigieg. So it's still the same. So The Guardian has a pretty awesome delegate tracker. The whole thing's nonsense anyway. Okay. Bloomberg's not there to do anything other than prop up the Democratic Party. The whole thing is... Did I miss... Ghostmon! Bono's corruption. Ghostmon, thank you. Love Bo Jackson. Love Bo Jackson. One of the great athletes, great football players, and one of the really amazing baseball players out there. I mean, if you look at the history. Flying Fox Roots! Goodbye, Joe. HSC time to go. Me oh my. So, this is going to be very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Dean Diefendorf! Manhattan in the house. You're a true patriot. Thank you for your super chat. Thank you, Dean, for always watching. I hope all is well. Thank you for watching from day one. Dean Diefendorf, thank you so very much. And it's gonna be interesting. Dean, it's gonna be something that I'll answer Legend. Legends asked what changed from you being so gung ho about Bernie to now. I don't hate him at all. Here's the thing. Bernie Sanders knew that Trump didn't work with Russia. He knew that because it's absurd, and anyone with a functioning brain cell would know that Trump didn't buy Facebook ads along with Russian intelligence or had nothing to do with the DNC emails. But Bernie Sanders, for political expediency, went ahead, promoted the same myth, the same hoax, the same bogus farce that, yes, H.A., sing that last comment like Hank Williams. And now I don't even know what I'm saying. He went ahead and he basically said that Russia cheated Hillary Clinton, and Russia did not cheat Hillary Clinton. Clinton was unelectable, like I said, in 2015. She's still unelectable, but she will still become nominee because it's a political machine. And Bernie also, which is I find really egregious, the DNC fraud lawsuit he should have championed. He should have explained to the world that he was cheated. He didn't, and I find that bad. But Dean Diefendorf, thank you. There's a lot of reasons. You look at Bernie Sanders and my 18679. It actually, that channel, H.A., what happens here? That channel became H.A. Goodman's other channel. And what I'm going to do and what I've done is some of the footage on that channel, HA2A, some of the footage is going to be just transferred to H.A. Goodman's other channel. But H.A. Goodman's other channel is just another version of me, but maybe more, even more wild and unpredictable and annoying. So yeah, that would be my second channel. Oh, Joe Biden, 157 delegates to 91. So Alabama, he's one. So I mean, Biden is running the table right now. This is going to affect Texas and California. But see, again, California could actually... give Sanders a nice victory. Who knows? It really doesn't. Deion Sanders over Bo Jackson. Doug Barnard. You know, who would I rather have? In baseball, you know, Deion Sanders was amazing in baseball. He really was. I loved when he flew in. So my 18,679, that's what took place. Basically became. I take Bo, though. I take Bo Jackson. Flying Fox Fruits. H.A. Goodman for White House Press Secretary 2020. I'd love that. Jack, H.A. Goodman equals YouTube Yoda. Yes. Madam Secretary, we need you. Only you can save the Democratic Party. Only you can save the Democratic Party, Madam Secretary. It's 100 years since the 19th Amendment. Biden, now this is hilarious. Biden's up in Massachusetts. That's funny. That's really funny. That's really funny. That is really funny. So Bernie could end up with more delegates, but he would have needed to crush Biden. See, that's the thing. Biden and everyone else, every other Democrat, their delegates, whether it's Mayor Pete or the delegate issue is just a way to ensure Bernie Sanders doesn't win. The delegates are not legally bound, okay? The delegates are not legally bound. So I mean, there you go. They're not legally bound. So, if they're not legally bound, they can just vote for anybody they want. Kind of like when everyone's going to vote. Hillary Clinton's going to be the nominee. She's not on Good Morning America today saying, disparaging Bernie's movement and saying that he has to follow the rules. Well, what does it matter? If she's not running, why does she care? She's really worried about Biden? No. Pete Buttigieg won Iowa. This is Des Moines Register. That's right. That's right. So he actually did win Iowa. He actually did win Iowa. I mean, we knew that. So it's finally Des Moines Register. It only took, they're totally not cheating. It only took 10 years. You see, there was this app. Because, there's certain different alignments in Iowa. And it's just really, really, there's an app. There's an app that we need because something called a calculator. We can't have a calculator because it's just too difficult. It's too intense. It's too, the math, you're talking about Stephen Hawking times 1,000. We need an app developed by Clinton campaign officials. That is a coincidence. And so is the Clinton campaign buying the Steele dossier. And so is Madam Secretary using private servers for 4 years with top secret. It's all a coinky-dink. And if you say it's not, big problem. Huge problem. Big problem. I just want to know who I'm up against. That's why I respect Hillary Clinton more than Bernie. She's been running, and she's let everybody know she's running. She's let everybody know that she's running by having everybody else run on her behalf, and then they crown her the nomination. They give her the nomination. It's pretty easy to understand. Flying Fox Roots! I got 2 more clams for the positive vibes of AJ. Flying Fox Fruits. Everyone say that 10 times. Flying Fox Fruits. Flying Fox Fruits. Flying Fox Fruits. Thank you, Flying Fox Fruits. Thank you. Very kind of you. Pete Buttigieg won Iowa, then he dropped out. What happens to his delegates? Yeah, they all go to Biden. They all go to Biden. Delegates aren't legally bound to vote for any candidate in the Democratic Convention. Yeah, they're all going to vote for Biden. Pete Buttigieg endorsed Biden. So what do you think is going to happen? And then Biden will endorse Clinton. It's not that difficult. Jack, I don't know. Sticks is good at the states. I'm not good at individual states. Sticks is actually quite good at states. He did that in 2016. He picked individual states. And predicted the election and was accurate with individual states. I just predicted the election. I didn't go state by state. This will be so interesting. I will have a live stream tonight, everybody. Look, if somebody said, "Hey, you can join my organization, but you have to jump through burning hoops, and then you have to jump off a cliff, and then you have to swim in a tank full of piranha, and then afterwards you have to jump into a shark-infested waters full of chum, and then you have to go to the Amazon, put a whole bunch of honey all over your body, and let fire ants all over you. And then, wait, there's more. Then you could be part of my organization and my club. And then you have to go into the Everglades and swim with a bunch of alligators. And then after that, you have to go in the zoo and find where the lions are located, and with a raw steak, jump in. And then, no, wait, this is the Democratic primary, and we're being very fair. We've let Bernie know. We've let him know what he has to do. And then you have to, what else does he have to do? Then you have to play LeBron James one-on-one and beat him by 10 points. And then you have to play Kawhi Leonard, and you have to beat him by 20 points. And then, let's see, you have to go head up against Ray Lewis and actually beat him in linebacker tackling drills. And then play against Tiger Woods, and then beat, wait, who's the number 1 tennis player in the world? Okay, so who's the number 1 tennis player? I don't even know. Tennis player in the world. Then you have to beat Roger Federer in tennis. Okay. Then you have to jump back into a Shark Tank. So there you go. Rules are rules. These are the rules. Bernie Sanders was a part of the rulemaking. He was a part of the rulemaking. We didn't make the rules. These rules were set. These are rules, okay? Similar to using servers outside of the United States government. These are rules. These are just rules. Okay, so Biden won Alabama. Biden won Virginia. Biden won North Carolina. So he just won Alabama. Alabama. I was at, if you're a hardcore viewer of this channel, you know this story. I was at a kibbutz in Israel over 20 years ago. And I was speaking to, I was a counselor for this organization, and we were all at this kibbutz in Israel, and and one of the people there had the southern accent, and he had his firearm right there, and he was just talking to us in a southern accent, and I was like, oh, okay, and where are you from? He's like, Alabama. And I'm like, oh, I said something about football. I said, Bear Bryant, like just joking. And he said that he lived in the same neighborhood, like across the street from Bear Bryant. And that Bear Bryant was a really wonderful person, a very nice person, and just a great, great human being, all that. So it was just interesting. I'm like, oh my God, you know. But anyway, this is theater, ladies and gentlemen. This is theater. They're going to create a theatrical narrative regarding all of this. Ebenezer Adams! Thank you. This, ladies and gentlemen, is just smoke and mirrors. They have no intention. They never had any intention. Bernie Sanders is there to funnel votes back into the Democratic Party. And that's it. Now, Biden might be... If Bernie doesn't defeat Biden in delegate count, I mean, you're looking at the end. The complete end. Now, think of it from Madam Secretary's perspective. He's winning Oklahoma now, too. Biden is up in Oklahoma. Unbelievable. Really, really, really interesting. It's all part of... The cheating of Bernie Sanders is not... The rules are created. It's not the fact that when I say that Bernie's being cheated... I don't think a lot of people, or people who don't disagree with me, I don't think they would understand what I mean. The rules are created and designed to ensure that Bernie Sanders does not win. So if he gets more delegates, there's a second round of voting. That's the whole point. Why would there be a second round of voting if Democrats choose a certain candidate to ensure Hillary Clinton would win? Every single thing from the Steele dossier to impeachment, from the Steele dossier to the Mueller probe to impeachment, to every single negative news story, all of the people writing them voted for Clinton. Most of them didn't vote for Bernie Sanders. Okay, so How is Biden up in Massachusetts? Tell me how that... How is that even possible? How is Biden up in Massachusetts? That's kind of amusing. That is kind of amusing. And so you have, it's kind of interesting too, because when you look at the delegate count now, it correlates exactly to what I said. The cheating is ensuring that Bernie Sanders cannot possibly win. That's the whole point. It's just like the FBI investigation with Comey and Clinton. What Democrats do, they say, well, we investigated, we found nothing. You didn't investigate, and it was a fabricated sham. You didn't investigate. You're doing that for public relations. You claim to investigate Clinton just so you can then claim, well, we found nothing and exonerate Madam Secretary. You claim to have a primary just so you can say, well, we've let the will of the people vote and we found the best candidate. When in the DNC fraud lawsuit, they literally stated they don't need to actually care about the will of the voters. All they need to do, they do not need, ladies and gentlemen, to even abide by any rules. They can pick, it's a private entity. It is a private entity. So, ladies and gentlemen, as of right now, Biden is doing exceedingly well. We'll see what happens in Texas and California, but this does not look like a good day for Bernie Sanders. This looks like pretty much the beginning of the end for Bernie Sanders and the beginning of Hillary Clinton 2020. It will be the biggest, I will have made, not to pat myself on the back, but I will have made the biggest, I take enough heat, so I will have made the biggest political call of all time. Tell everybody you know Hillary Clinton is going to be nominee. Bernie Sanders has as much chance as Biden of becoming nominee, which is 0. They're not going to go with Biden, and they certainly won't go with Bernie Sanders. The whole thing is a charade to justify the eventual nominee in Hillary Clinton. Give me your thoughts below, everyone. Samuel Stafford, thank you so very much, as always. Greatly, greatly appreciated. I will be back in a couple of hours, ladies and gentlemen, to discuss the California votes and Texas. It will be very interesting very interesting, ladies and gentlemen, how they pretend that Biden will be the nominee now. It is going to be Hillary Clinton. I am the only person on the planet who's been saying this. I wrote about this in the Huffington Post in 2017. I've been light years. This is the second election. NPR quoted me in 2015, calling the election that Clinton would lose. Clinton will lose again, but it'll be extremely, extremely lucrative. They make infinitely more money losing with Clinton than winning with Bernie, and he wouldn't win this year. In 2016, he actually could have won. But you have a president now, and President Trump, who's bringing home Americans, all of these great things. So Trump is a great president. Give me your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much. God bless. Great day today. Samuel Stafford, thank you again. I'll see you in a couple of hours. Check this channel in a couple of hours. Thank you.